This video will set the record straight and highlight key facts that were left out of the RTE primetime documentary presented by Barry Cummins. The goal is to visually demonstrate inconsistencies in the narrative given about the events at Lordship Credit Union on the night of the murder.
Garda has been shot and critically injured in County Louth.
Widespread condemnation of the murder of a Detective Garda while on duty in County Louth. Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe, who was stationed at Dundalk, is married with children.
The raiders who were responsible for the death of Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe were gone within 60 seconds, so the forensic evidence just really isn't there.
We've just seen this clip, 58 seconds. Owen Reynolds tells us that the raider was here in the car park at the time of the murder and robbery. He says there was no possibility of forensic evidence. We have criticised Owen Reynolds on this statement before, and we are here today again to criticise Owen Reynolds and to contradict and highlight the pathetic journalism of Barry Cummins, Robin Schiller and Owen Reynolds.
A jury has now delivered its verdict in this case. Aaron Brady, guilty of the capital murder of Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. Brady is the only person who has been convicted in relation to this murder. 3 other men also got over this wall that night, and there was a getaway driver too. They have yet to be brought to justice. They had no idea 4 men, including Aaron Brady, were hiding outside, wearing balaclavas and crouched behind the back wall of the credit union car park.
We have just watched Barry Cummins tell us a little bit about the raiders, and this is the wall where the raiders hid for over 45 minutes. We know that from CCTV footage of a car dropping the raiders off behind the credit union here. The 4 raiders hid behind this wall, came through the field, but what Barry Cummins fails to tell us is that the raiders left footprints. Those footprints was cast. Those casts were taken and examined both in Ireland and in Europe. I'm just going to bring up here very quickly, this is a list of items that was taken from our home when our house was searched in April 2013. And you can see clearly here, I have it marked that there was footwear taken. That was Aaron's footwear. Ourselves, we have read 5,000-6,000 statements involved in the investigation. In multiple statements where they were speaking to Aaron's friends, acquaintances and people he worked with, they questioned about Aaron's footwear. But what Barry Cummins fails to tell you, what Owen Reynolds more specifically fails to tell us, is there was forensic evidence behind this wall. There was footprints, there was foot sizes, and you know the answer as well as we do. Those footprints did not match Aaron Brady.
This is Pat Bellew, a retired engineer. On the night of Friday, 25th of January 2013, Pat was one of 2 credit union volunteers on duty at Lordship.
It was a really bad, rainy winter's night.
He and Bernadette got ready to leave.
When we left the building, Bernadette locked up the door. I switched off the lights. I proceeded to walk to the car.
Same few terrifying seconds, another raider ran to Bernadette's car, and a 4th.
Another important thing to highlight here, and one that we will go into more detail on in the near future, is the sighting of a Volkswagen Passat driving the wrong way around the roundabout at Ballymascanlon before heading south towards Dublin. This sighting had been mentioned previously, but it's a key detail that has never been given proper weight in the public narrative. When you combine this with Bernadette McShane's clear statement that the raider she encountered had a Dublin accent, the connection becomes hard to ignore. The car heading towards Dublin, the description of a man with a Dublin accent, these are strong indicators pointing away from Aaron Brady and towards other potential suspects. Yet again, this evidence was never fairly presented to the public or the jury.
Following on from this crucial omission, we move towards the front door of Lordship Credit Union, where Lorraine stands near the spot where Bernadette McShane had parked her car that night.
Bernadette McShane was an eyewitness who gave a detailed explanation and description of one of the raiders. She described this man as being bulky, 5'8" to 5'9", and notably speaking with a Dublin accent. This description was given early in the investigation and is recorded in multiple statements. She stated the guard taking her statement, who had a Dublin accent, sounded the same as the man who attacked her car. Yet again, this vital information was never properly highlighted to the public by RTE or Barry Cummins in any of his reports. It is an important detail because Aaron Brady is neither that height nor does he have a Dublin accent, meaning the description does not fit him in any way. And of course, it should steer the investigation surely towards the real Dublin gang or a Dundalk-based gang with Dublin connections. This is another key piece of first-hand evidence that was brushed aside, despite its insignificance and importance. And we believe the Irish public deserve to know the full story and the truth.
Evening.
Pat and another volunteer, Bernadette, closed up and waited for the arrival of the Garda car to escort the Lordship cash to the night safe in Dundalk. As Pat and Bernadette got into their separate vehicles, the Qashqai and unmarked Garda Avences moved towards the exit of the car park.
Straightening the car up to drive forward, I noticed a couple of people jump across the wall, and they shouted something like, "This is a robbery." I can't tell you exactly what they said. I don't do it. And I said to myself, this is just do what you're normally supposed to do. Just, give them the money, put up no opposition. It was crack as somebody broke in the driver's door window and the glass came in on top of me. I believe he went round the car, opened the passenger door and took the money.
Now we turn our focus to the third car that was attacked during the course of the robbery. This car belonged to Pat Bellew, Senior Officer at Lordship Credit Union.
Pat gave a clear description of the raider that smashed his driver window on that night. His description was that the man was very tall, not small, and of a muscular, strong build.
He described him as stocky, but not fat, wearing a grey jumper or fleece type top, possibly wool material. Pat recalled the raider shouting something like, "Give me the money," though he could not discern the accent.
This is important because, like other eyewitnesses, Pat Bellew provided specific details about what he saw. His account tells us this raider was tall and well built, physically nothing like Aaron Brady. On top of that, CCTV footage clearly shows the raider running from Pat's driver's side around to the passenger side of his Mazda.
The footage makes it obvious that the man is head and shoulders above the open apex of the car door, which measures 58 inches. This visual evidence alone proves that the raider could not have been Aaron Brady.
We move to the front gate of the credit union, where Caroline stands to recount another crucial eyewitness account that has been downplayed for over a decade. Mary Hanlon was sitting in her Jeep that night, directly facing a car parked in front of her for nearly a full minute as the events unfolded.
Mary Hanlon described the vehicle as silver grey, not black, not dark blue, simply silver grey. Mary also described one of the men running past her carrying what we now know to have been a shotgun. She remembered him as tall, athletic, moving with speed and purpose. This is yet another independent description of a man that does not match Aaron Brady, either in height, build or appearance, but raises further questions about why this evidence was never fully explored or presented truthfully to the public or the jury.
Mary also gave another crucial piece of evidence, and that has been largely ignored. She stated that the vehicle sitting directly in front of her for nearly a minute was being driven, in her words, by a female with short, really blonde hair. Mary described her as white, Irish, young, possibly in her 20s or 30s. She noted that this woman looked straight ahead and the entire time and never once glanced towards her. In Mary's short statement, she says, she, her, bitch, woman, over 50 times. So the obvious question is this: where is the female driver? This was the most intensive and expensive investigation in the history of the Irish state. Yet no female driver has ever been identified, let alone connected to Aaron Brady or any of the other men mentioned as suspects. This glaring omission proves the investigation was deeply flawed from the very beginning. It proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Aaron Brady was not involved in the events at Lordship Credit Union that night.
Two of the raiders were armed, one with a shotgun and the other with a handgun. They ran straight towards the unmarked Garda car. Adrian Donohoe had just got out of the passenger side of the car to investigate the Passat blocking the exit. He turned towards the gunman running straight towards him. The raider holding the shotgun fired once across the roof of the Garda car, hitting Adrian at point-blank range. He died immediately.
Ryan said the car door then opened and two men pointed a shotgun and a handgun at him.
This is the spot from which Joe Ryan, a professional witness with nearly 30 years of experience as a member of An Garda Síochána, had a clear view of the two raiders for almost a full minute as they carried out the brutal attack. Joe Ryan has been rightly heralded as a hero for his actions that night, and he was deeply sympathised with for the loss of his colleague and friend. But despite the trauma of the moment, Joe Ryan's training and experience made him an extremely credible professional eyewitness, and his detailed account does not match Aaron Brady.
As the voiceover has just told you, myself and Caroline are now standing at the very spot where the men who murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe and attacked the Garda's car stood. And from the CCTV footage from the credit union here itself that looked down on that terrible moments, we have shown you, the Irish public, the three simple facts that no sophisticated science is needed, no degrees is needed. This is as simple as looking at a photograph. We have three anchor points. We have the apex of the open door of the Garda car. We have the gunman who is above the apex of the door of the open car. And we have the man with the shotgun who shot Adrian Donohoe is taller than the person with the handgun. It's so simple, no science, nothing needed.
My son Aaron physically cannot be the man who shot and murdered Adrian Donohoe.